Welcome, Forza fans. I am Leviathan, and it's a pleasure to be live back hosting Forza Monthly once again. So we've got Series 28 here. It's a little bit earlier than some might have expected. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We've got another pack. This is the open top car pack. If you want to relive those glory days of a couple of months ago, then this is the pack for you.
Do you want to feel the wind rolling through your hair, or more likely the British drizzle?
Yeah, no wind running through this hair.
And I've also heard there's a perk for members of Game Pass Ultimate as well. Can you tell us a bit about that, Tom?
Yeah, this is great. So this is, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you can get 5x5 code that you can redeem, and basically gives you 4 cars that are already in the game. But it's a great way. There's some really expensive cars here. We've got the Maserati 8 CTF. That's like a 10 million credit car. We've got the Pagani Zonda, Koenigsegg Agera, and the Honda NSX-R.
We mentioned Horizon Backstage, and I'm sure a lot of people are kind of really curious as to what that might be.
And what's really cool about this feature is we've got this tile here, which is the voting tile. And if we go onto here in the video, this is a way that the players and the community and you guys can all vote on what car gets added to Horizon Backstage.
You get to go and have a bit of a say in which car you'd like it to be as your reward.
Keep your eye on Forza Horizon Twitter to vote on which cars you'd like to see in Horizon Backstage. We also saw Chris Forsberg's Formula Drift car added to the game. We put a call out for your best photos of it in action, and as always, you delivered. Next up, we're joined once again by the ever-enthusiastic Alie Tacq to talk more about Forza Esports. We're going to start things off a little bit differently here because this month, we have a bit of esports news regarding Forza Horizon 4 rather than Motorsport.
It's the Xbox Hall of Fame Rivals event. A few of you may have noticed it because, well, over 250,000 people took part. It was very, very hard fought. A little lap time, just a 30-second one around a festival circuit. And yeah, it's definitely brought out the competitive side in the community, Leah.
I can imagine. We've actually got a replay of one of the top times set by Jim Hyder, which we'll take a look at, and you can see why it got one of the top times, because it is fast.
It is so perfect. Look at every time, every gate, he's just clipping it and absolutely extending the track, making the track as wide or as tight as it possibly can be. Just an amazing racing line. A very, very short track. I saw a good conversation on Twitter about, why the rivals were so close here. And, with just a 30-second lap, and you'll see it, it's all over far too soon. You'll see sort of why all the times are very condensed. At the same time, though, a massive shout out to the community of racers out there. The top 200, over 200 times, were within 1 second of the leader.
We also have several motorsport events, as you'd expect, including another Porsche tournament, this time in the Asia, Pacific, and Australia region of the world. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had a little go at it on one of my streams. The Porsche GT3 RS at Silverstone was the competition. You can take part from anywhere in the world. It's just a rivals event on Forza, so you just go through the featured rivals. You can get involved. Anyway, big ups to P-Class winners Dale Earnhardt, Tribute Band, DDM Law, and LZR Diablo. GG's to those two who won it in the top class. In the GT class that I was racing in, I wasn't anywhere near them, but Team Mandem took the win. That's Will Zoom, Craviator, again, second time mentioning him in today's eSport update, and BP Solo 76 as well.
In the not so distant past, school and video games went together a bit like oil and water. They don't really mix. But now, some consider video games as a platform for student competition, connection, and community building.
We have a really strong vocational class for auto mechanics at our school. We're really proud that we still have that in our school. It's kind of something that's going away in a lot of schools. But sometimes they don't have the opportunity to work on a ton of different cars in real life, so they'll come in and play on Forza and they'll mess with some of the tuning setups and they'll adjust things and then they'll drive the car and see how it changes. So the auto mechanics teacher has actually been using Forza Motorsport to show how the stuff works in real life on the cars in the game.
Wow. Thank you for tuning in today to support all things Forza. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hello, Forza fans. Welcome to the November edition of Forza Monthly. I am Leah Viathan once again, and we have a great show lined up for you today. We've got Chris and Mike from Playground Games here to talk about the Forza Horizon 4 Series 29 update first up. And then you might have been a little bit surprised to see Forza Monthly a few days early. And the reason for that is because we need to get hyped for Forza Horizon 4 Optimized. We'll do just that with a review of all the great features in the upcoming release for Xbox Series X. So if you haven't already, you'll want to mark your calendars for that one. Next, we'll have Alie Tacq back to share the latest Forza Esports news. And finally, we'll be shining the community spotlight on a content creator and mental health awareness advocate, DexHowl. It's going to be a pretty good show, so let's not dilly-dally. Let's welcome Mike Brown and Chris Phillips back to the show to talk about the Series 29 update. Hello!
Hey Leah, absolutely great to be here. It's been a really great week as well, hasn't it? It's been really exciting seeing everyone really get stuck into democracy. As we saw today, the Hot Wheels Twin Mill is currently beating the Hot Wheels Bone Shaker in the backstage voting. I don't think there's any other more important democracy going on right now.
No, I started sweating a bit there, not gonna lie.
The whole intro was about the backstage. I don't know what you were thinking about, Leah.
Of course. It was also Halloween, so anything fun happening in the Mike and Chris houses this Halloween?
I decorated my house with ridiculously ugly pumpkins, like the ones that kind of get shunned at the pumpkin store. They're all over my house.
Amazing.
All the bargain basement pumpkins. Yeah, we obviously trick or treating's not on this year, so yeah, we had a little bit of a Halloween party for the kids. Watched some crappy old 90s Halloween movies. Yeah, it's all right.
And education, then it seems.
Absolutely.
Right, well, let's start with Series 29 and Forza Horizon 4 news. What's on the festival playlist for this update?
Yes, let's take a look. All right, so first up, we'll start out with the festival playlist series long rewards. You can get yourself a backstage pass for 50% of the whole playlist and a chance to get in the Jeep Wrangler Liberty design. Into summer, there's one of our brand new cars. That is the we've skipped forward slightly. You can get the Singer Porsche 911 and the 80% one. I can't remember what it was because we skipped forward. There we go. It's the Hummer open top. Excellent. Next slide, please. Cool. Yes. So I think it's only the second time it's come around. So you get a chance to get the Land Rover Range Rover Velar in the trial. And we skip forward, please. Yes, of course, it's the E92 M3 GTS in the sheer driving pleasure season event. Again, that one's not been around for a little while, so great to see that one. Next slide, please. Jump into autumn. Okay, so another brand new car for 50% in autumn. You can get your hands on the BMW 850 CSI. We'll be taking a look at that in just a moment, and 80% gets you the HSV GTS. Next slide, please. Yes, so a couple of Maseratis here. In the trial, you can get yourself the Maserati MC12 Corsa, and in the seasonal PG games, you can get the Maserati Ghibli. Next slide, please. Yes, and another shot at that Renault Megane RS 2018 for that Concrete Jungle season event. All right, let's jump into winter. Okay, so 50% in winter gets you your, I think only the second time it's been in there, second chance at the Nissan Pulsar, and 80% the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR. Next slide, please. Yes, so you now have in the trial in winter, you can get the Ford Escort, the 1977 edition, and in Playground Games, you can get the Peugeot 205 Rally. So again, a couple of really classic rally cars there, almost like somebody has themed these intentionally. Next slide, please. 50% in spring gets you the Lexus ISF, and 80% gets you a really classic piece of British motoring design in the Rover SD1. And clicking on. If you thought that was classic, it ain't got nothing on the Napier Railton, a true real classic, and it's such an absolutely ridiculous and really fun car to drive as well. Next slide, please. Yes, so you might be drawn to the Lamborghini Huracan Performante in the Unexpected season event, but we also have another brand new car here, which is the AMG Hammer Coupe. People who follow Forza socials might have actually seen these cars before. We usually try and keep them a little bit under wraps, but yes, as Leah touched on up at the top there, we had to release this update a little bit early, and therefore you guys were able to snoop at it a little bit early and find out these cars. But here they are confirmed, so you can get excited for them now.
Amazing. And I always want to commend the person who names the events. They're always so well named. But then I'm curious about Tree Hugger. So got some questions there.
I glossed over that one.
Is it an instruction? I can do that again. So we actually have some videos of the reward cars in this update. So let's take a closer look at what those are. And Chris can run us through some of the details.
Take it away, Chris.
So first up, this was, as Mike said, this is for 50% completion of summer. This is the Singer 911 DLS, or Dynamics and Lightweightening Study. So it's one of Singer's reimagined cars. So Singer's kind of ethos is restored, reimagined, reborn. So this is their take on the 911 to make it as perfect as it can be. So it's based on the 964, except a heavy use of carbon fiber, titanium, magnesium, really lightweight components. They've got the weight down to about 1,000 kilos. And then one of its real party pieces is the engine. So it's using an old school air-cooled Porsche engine. It's poured out to 4 liters, and it's been built by Williams Engineering, who are one of the kind of firms of Williams F1. So real heritage in the engine. It's a 9,000 RPM, 500 horsepower monster. It sounds incredible. That's 125 horsepower per liter, which is absolutely incredible. Very few engines can get to that and be a road engine. And it'll set you back a cool $1.8 million, which I think is probably just for this. It's, I mean, you can see the cockpit here. It's an absolutely stunning machine, and it's really the pinnacle of kind of technology, but with that really nice classic 911 look.
Yeah, amazing. I was going to say that the dashboard is really nice, and I don't often say that.
Chris saying 1.8 million is a good price for a 911. Well, get 2.
Yeah, why not? Wow, yeah. No, it's definitely a good-looking car, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously made it
Real
look
iconic
even
shape,
better in Forza Horizon 4.
I mean, if I had to spare $1.8 million, I'd have one.
That's 2, probably. Maybe even 3. Why not?
I guess once you're in the market for a 1.8 million car, maybe this is probably a great one to get.
Yeah, the sky's the limit at that point.
1.8 million within Forza Horizon, you can get it for just completing 50% of your summer festival playlist. So
there you go.
Save yourself 1.8 million and play Forza.
You can experience the thrill with none of the risk. Lovely. So that was our first reward car, and I think we've got another one to take a little look at.
Yep, so this is the BMW 850 CSI. So as Mike said, this is I think 50% in autumn. So this is back in the kind of classic 90s. We were talking earlier. The shape of this car is actually really iconic and somewhat timeless. It was also one of the first cars to ever use CAD tooling, which back in the mid 90s, early 90s was incredibly uncommon. And nowadays it's just kind of the way things are done. Under the bonnet, this has the 5.6 litre V12, the S70 B56, which is famous as being part of the engine family that the McLaren F1 engine was based on. In this car, 372 horsepower, over 400 pounds of torque, and the most important thing, it's from the 90s. It has pop-up headlights, which just makes it the best car.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what I look for, actually, if I'm buying a car. I'm like, does it have pop-up headlights? No, don't want to know. Okay, move on.
That's right. Yeah,
and the
surprisingly
weird fact
limited run as well. Like it's for a BMW, which obviously usually, tend to make quite a lot of cars. Only 1,500 of these produced. I think the reason that number is so low is because in the 90s, emission standards were introduced, and they couldn't find a way to have this car meet those emission standards, and therefore had to cut production on it, which is actually a real shame because it's a real iconic shape. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say another weird fact I can tell you is the engine's quite a beautiful thing, because it turns out I had to Google this. My coffee table is one of these engine blocks.
Hang on, there's a story here.
I have a V12 coffee table, and the engine block is one of these, it turns out.
Amazing. Okay, that's not what I expected to hear looking at this car in Forza Horizon 4, not gonna lie.
I can't believe you dropped a fact like that, Chris, without showing us your coffee table.
If it was nearby, I would. Next time I'm on, I'll have to show a picture of it.
Yes, please do. I'm curious now. Right, and then we have a third car to show you guys. So let's have a look at car number 3, please.
There it is. So Yeah, this possibly has the best name of any car ever. This is the Mercedes AMG Hammer. Does what it says on the tin. This thing was brute force when it came out. So back when this came out, AMG was still a tuning house to Mercedes. So you'd go and buy your W124, and then you'd take it to AMG, and they would super up. And in the case of the one we've got here, it's a 6-liter V8, putting out nearly 400 horsepower. Only 12 in this spec exist, and some of them had a wide body kit as an option as well, which many people are pleased to hear is an option on this car. So you can go into the garage, you put the wide body kit on, and it looks spectacular. It's one of the most imposing cars ever made, I think, and yeah, this thing's amazing.
It looks intimidating. I was just seeing it. I'm scared.
Yeah, it really has a great shape, doesn't it? It doesn't look quite as old as it is. Like, is it 86 or 87?
It's 87, I think, this one, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a real timeless shape to it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yes, and this one you get in spring, right? One of the season events.
Yeah.
Excellent. I get sort of like mild Batmobile vibes from it. Maybe it's just because it's black and shiny and, got the brain of a crow. But,
I feel like Bruce Wayne would definitely drive this.
Yeah, It's cool enough. I think so. That's his incognito Batmobile. This is now canon. We've decided.
And he'd be rich enough to buy it, because even back in 1987, this was $160,000, which that was proper supercar money back then.
Yeah. Can you still buy them today? What do they go for now? Off the top of your head, Mr. Auto Trader.
More than that.
Yeah, more than that.
I think in researching it as it was dropping into the game, I think I saw one sold at Sotheby's for 280,000, which is obviously a lot, but it's not as much as I thought it would be, given only 12 of them. But I guess if you bought it and you're making over 100 grand profit, it's still pretty good. But, most cars at that point would be worth nothing after 30 years. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you factor in appreciation, it's held value, which is good going.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that was the Series 29 update for you guys, but stick around, because now we're going to turn our attention to the big release out next week. The eagerly anticipated Xbox Series X debuts on November the 10th. And with it, you'll be pleased to hear, comes even better news for Forza fans: the release of Forza Horizon 4 Optimized for the new consoles. Tell us more, please.
Yes, it genuinely is super, super exciting. I am really excited about it. Can we roll the first video, please? So there quite simply has never been a better time to play Forza Horizon 4. The Xbox Series X is a fantastic console, and you can play your entire back catalogue in backwards compatibility mode. That's not what this is. This is a version of Forza Horizon 4, rebuilt, optimized, tuned to the absolute maximum performance to give you the very, very best version of Forza Horizon 4 there has ever been. It's got higher fidelity graphics in almost every way you can imagine. It's running at a rock solid 4K 60, and it's faster performance, faster loading, faster everything. It is awesome.
And it just looks stunning. It's got depth. It's not like it didn't already.
The whole image just sits together so much better than it did previously, and it's one of those weird things where you didn't think the game looked bad previously. I used to think it looked amazing. Now I've seen this.
I know. I'm excited to see what comes out of photo mode, to be honest, with Optimized. These photos are going to get even more spectacular, which is how. But yeah, so you've got faster performance. But what about load times, Chris?
Yes, we play the next video. So yes, I'm very glad you asked, Leah. So look, because of that new awesome SSD, loading has been reduced to almost nothing. So we're about to see this person load into a race, which I think used to take probably sort of maybe 12 to 15 seconds on an Xbox One X. So assuming you're on the good console, then, oh my gosh, it's already finished loading. Look at that. I think that was probably like 3 or 4 seconds. So it really is just shaving huge chunks of time off all those down points you had in your game. All the time there, you'd just be sat doing nothing. We're about to see a fast travel now, so jumping across from one side of the map to the other. Used to take about 10 to 12 seconds on the One X. On the Series X, that was about 2 seconds. it really is absolutely rapid. We'll see a change car now. Again, that used to take around 7 seconds in a best case. That there was almost no load there at all. That was, I think, sub 1 second of actual loading screen. It is incredible. Your time is just respected so much more when you're playing games. We're seeing now the cold boot. So this is from the dashboard boot. We didn't show you the dashboard because this is a dev kit and we can't show you that stuff. But assume that they've just clicked on the icon. This load used to be probably 2 minutes or so. And that was, I guess, 20 seconds. We've also added the ability that you can skip the Playground Games T10 splash screens as well. So you don't have to sit through those every single time. You can if you want to, you're allowed, but you can just press A and skip them now, which, again, just gets you into the game that little bit faster.
Yeah, no more time to check your phone between races now. That's it. You're just in. Anything to add on your end, Chris?
Yeah, so those loading times, it's not just kind of fast travel and things like that. So those of us like me that go into the garage a lot and build cars, if you want to queue up the next video, the garage UI is now much faster. So for anyone that is, as I say, like me, does a lot of building and does a lot of what's going on here, which is just going in, hitting that bumper and sticking the highest level part on, just you can see how quick the UI is running here. So you can build those max performance builds in next to no time. You're not waiting for the UI at all, which is just, it makes building a car so much better. And obviously the entire garage UI, so the livery creators as well, you're going to see the same kind of performance benefits here.
Yeah, so we've had a bunch of livery creators and tuners up on the stream in the community spotlight. And what we're saying is, you guys can be twice as efficient now, potentially. Don't quote me on that. But you could be so much faster now, just based on menu load times, which is amazing.
The Series X will pay for itself in time saved when you're upgrading your cars. You'd be crazy not to buy one.
Absolutely. I mean, and that just looks, we can tell the difference from the video, which is, it blows my mind that you can see that. But like when we say higher fidelity graphics, what exactly does that mean?
So we can roll the next video, please. So the graphics here are really similar to a super high-end PC. What we're looking at now is the reflections. So we've been able to massively increase the resolution and refresh rate of all the reflections and all of the shiny surfaces. So you can see it on the bonnet of this RS200 right now. You're picking up all those really cool details. It's super fast, super responsive. Looks absolutely beautiful. Here, I think we wouldn't normally draw your attention to, but it's the rear view mirror. It actually looks pretty good. You get a good view of what's behind you, which, as I say, we wouldn't have ever drawn your attention to that previously because it didn't look that good. So yeah, reflections are massively improved. If we go next video, we can see shadows, I think. So again, shadows, we've got better, high resolution shadows, higher draw distance on those shadows, just a much better quality of light in every image. So between reflections and shadows, you see that the whole scene just sits together and has a much more natural feel to it. All of the things in the world just have that realistic quality that you probably didn't realize was missing previously, because I didn't. But as soon as you're playing it on that next gen hardware, you really start to just realize how high quality the image is every single frame.
Absolutely. The rain. Yeah. I always blows my mind seeing rain. I don't know why. It's just so like inconsequential, really, but it looks so cool.
And if we just want to roll the next video, so there's just a few little bits and bobs here I want to call out. So the draw distance here, you've always been able to see all that distance, but just the quality of of everything you can see there is really turned up to the absolute max. I threw this one in just because autumn looks beautiful and it has really beautiful lighting. I think you get a really nice quality of light, great shadows, all of it coming together really beautifully. This one I think is a great one because you can really see the quality of the vehicle models here. So both your car and all of the other cars in the race with you have got the quality of those assets turned up to the max. So here you can really see into the engine bay. You can see all the moving parts of the engine. You can see those fans going, not just on your car, but on all the others as well. And here, again, this was just one, it looked really beautiful. It was a winter morning and I thought it had a really beautiful lighting. So I thought we'd keep that one in there. And finally, this is a moment that everybody will have experienced as they started their journey in Forza Horizon 4, that race to the festival. It's high speed, the lighting looks amazing, the shadows look amazing, the festival looks great. I think that's just a great showpiece for all of the new things you'll be able to see in the optimized version of Forza Horizon 4.
Absolutely. It just looks somehow more immersive. It's crazy.
Totally does.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's honestly, it's throughout the more I've played it, the more it surprised me with just how good an impact it has on the experience. The whole scene all the time just sits so well together. Everything just feels really realistic. 10 out of 10 would recommend. You should definitely buy the new console.
No vested interest at all. And I think Forza Horizon 4, going off topic just a tiny bit, there's so many different environments in the game that you can really see the difference in a variety of ways, which is really awesome. It's not just one, like, the same landscape throughout the whole game. You've got a huge variety to really take advantage of that. So yeah, somehow you've made it even more beautiful. Are there any more features?
There has never been a better time to play Forza Horizon 4, Leah. This is it. This is the time. Play it now.
Now. So any more features for Forza Horizon 4, players to take advantage of?
So I think the main one that we would want to call out is just a feature of the console, really, which is smart delivery. So everything that you've seen now, if you already own any version of Horizon 4 or you're a Game Pass subscriber, then you already own this. You just need to get that new console, hit download, and you can jump straight in. There's no additional cost, nothing you have to buy. It just works.
Amazing. And the question I'm sure is on everyone's minds, mine in particular, does this mean we're coming to the end of the series updates?
Yeah, this was actually the last update. So yeah, good stuff. No, I joke. Of course, I joke. So of course not. We have a continued commitment to Horizon 4. We've got loads more really exciting updates. Some of them are still to come before the end of this year, and I'm really excited about them, and I can't wait to share more.
Amazing. Well, Mike and Chris, hello, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Thank you for all the hard work the Playground Games team have put in on the new updates as well. We're all very excited to find out what it's going to be like to actually play it. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Leah. Bye-bye.
Cheers, thanks. Bye.
Up next, the Tacq is back. It was cheesy, I know, but it just sounds really good. Alie has the latest in Forza Esports next, but first we're going to have a look at some great Forza shares from this past month. Some of those just look so realistic. You can't convince me that they're not just real photos of real cars. Alie, hello, welcome.
Hey,
just me
I'm
ruminating.
not letting you gloss over the Tacq is back. Bit. I liked it. I felt like we could have gone like an Amy Winehouse route. We could have gone like back to Tacq,
Back. All right, that's next time. Oh no, write these down. Don't tell them. Next time.
back in Tacq. I don't know. I'm losing
the
it now.
Alie Tacq attack. I feel like I'm being attacked right now. Welcome, Alie, to the show. We've got the esports update for today with you. And we have a lovely highlight reel as well. But first, how have you been? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm really good.
November
Thank
Valley?
you. Yeah, really good. It's been my kind of month for Forza Esports, actually. Loads to look at. We've got, the zero to hero stories, if you like. We've also got some amazing community leagues that I can't wait to dig into as well. Yeah, hyped. Cool.
All right, amazing. Well, let's check out the highlight reel and see what that's all about.
Welcome to the Porsche Asia Pacific Forza Cup Grand Finals.
What a track to choose for this competition, right? Silverstone, race 1, finale, Abbey, first corner, Yahoo!
Go, go, go here at Silverstone Racing Circuit. We see Craviator there out in front. And there is Craviator. Go, go, go for John Neal. Going to turn 1. It's a close call. What a brilliant start. Look at all those race drivers there. Oh, slip and slide in. Look at this mid-grid.
And we've got the top 3 finished already. We've got Lagerlot and Newton taking the top 2 positions.
And now let's hear from our champion, overall winner, Taylor Smith, Lagalot IG.
I don't know, it feels weird at the moment. It's definitely in a position I haven't been in before, but I'm sure later on it'll sink in and I'll realize I'm actually going to Germany next year.
And championship racing is underway here at Daytona in the MEA Prototype Challenge. And so far, so good for ESV Breeze, but THR Lightning's already moved up into the top 5 after the first lap of this race. Jim Supra right behind him as well. He throws it down to the inside, right there, side by side, but Breeze not able to get underneath him. And THR Lightning will take the lead here at lap number 6. Breeze loses control of the car, Scott's to the outside of Breeze. Boys to the outside of Breeze. 3 wide, coming off the corner as they head into the oval. Still 3 wide, side by side. As they get into the first section, Scottson tries to throw the car down low, not able to do it. THR Lightning with some major damage on the car, it looks like. Let's check that out because he is going to be making an unscheduled pit stop. But the man of the hour, winning his first MEA Prototype Championship and the $600 payout, Jim Supra at Daytona International Speedway will take home the victory. It looks like Scottson is going to hang on for the final lap as he fends off Toys, who finishes 3rd. And Scottson will get the $100 bonus for the overall points.
Hello and welcome to the Give Tournament Finals brought to you by Xbox. We're here on Forza Motorsport 7.
Oh man, I am stoked.
Something very interesting here is our sort of wild card rule set for the day. We have all of our drivers on track, and we also have a little bit of an extra bit of spice, a bit of cayenne pepper in the chili, and that is this guy, Raceboy77. And today, Jeff, he's not racing for points, but rather the other drivers get bonus points if they can beat him. FH4 will take the victory here in race number 1, and that big 18 points for the win, as well as a bonus point for beating Raceboy77 to the line. Up the road, Raceboy77 is going to do what Raceboy77 does. Take that win. He's down for the checkered flag, but you know that those top points are going to the drivers behind. The Vroomer in second will take the 18 points for the win.
You just got to get this final chicane right, and that should be the points victory for Vroomer, which is going to be huge in the final standings. And in all honesty, now it's where do we end up with Ion and FH4, and where do the points work out?
All right, Vroomer throttle down across the line in race number 3 of the Give Tournament Finals, brought to you by Xbox, will take the maximum points here. But I can tell you, FH4, by taking pole position for the first race today, won the championship because the Vroomer came 4th in the seeding. So that 1 and 4 at the very start was the thing that chose it. 51 points apiece. Brilliant racing.
Another busy month. There's a lot of hype there as well, actually, wasn't there? Was that Racer Boy 77?
A lot of passion out there. Yeah, I loved it. A busy month, as you say. We started things off. We actually looked at it in the intro to this show. Last month, we had the sort of Asia Pacific Rivals event, which qualified people through to that final that we saw right there. And that was where they were all like racing off for their chance to go to Germany. It was a really close run event.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Lagerlot, we said about this in the rehearsal. I'm going to call him Lagerlot. Just, it sounds so right. And apparently that was his name. So, but he seemed really pleased to win the Porsche Asia specific series. And you would be, because you've won a series, which is amazing. But in particular...
So he was super pleased because, well, for one thing, it's an amazing prize. He gets to go off to Germany, drive some Porsches. That's awesome, especially if you think about someone who lives way out there in an oceanic region. It's a long way to fly over, probably a once in a lifetime kind of a trip. It's really a twice in a lifetime kind of a trip for him. He's started off trying to get to LAN events. I think he got to his first LAN event this year, or maybe actually it didn't, because I think he was run remotely. So maybe this will be his first trip to play Forza.
Wow.
Anyway, I love this story. He's somebody who's really up and coming in the community. Just really, really good to see him winning.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a story of dedication, isn't it? I think it's something a lot of people can identify with. You know, you're always second place, never quite getting to where you want to be. And then suddenly a breakthrough, stars align, and you're off across the Pacific.
Yeah, you love to see it. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just a brilliant effort from him. He's been putting the time in on the game, and it's coming to fruition now. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And another familiar name here, we've seen very often in the last few months, but Hydra wins again. Is just that good. This time at the MEA Prototype Cup.
Yeah, time for the report within the report, which is the Hydra Esports report this month. What's he been up to? Hydra went out and he won an amazing event. It's an event that really captured my imagination. I really liked it. It clearly got a lot of community interest as well. The event is the MEA Prototype Challenge. It was a really well put together event. That was what was actually really impressive about it. Big shout out to Mayhem, who put the event together with his team. The event was sponsored by a bunch of different small companies and different people inside the community. The drivers from Track actually put some money in as well. And it made this cool little prize pot of just kind of community money, which they put together and put towards prize funds for the drivers. And the drivers all came out and tried to win it. A really hard fought race, as you saw, super exciting race as well. I loved the commentary on it. And in the end, Hydra did manage to get, the lion's share of the money. I think there was prizes for second and third as well, though.
Absolutely. No, and he's earned it as well. He's just been everywhere this season. I've not stopped seeing his name. Well, that is unfortunately the end of this month's esports news. That's what we got for you. And we're also approaching the end of something else, which is the Joseph Newgarden Team JN Bounty Hunter. How much time is left to put in a time on our final Bounty Hunter challenge?
Okay, you can still do it. There's about 1.5 hours left right now, so you can get out there. Keep in mind that a lap time only takes 1 minute 21.7 to put in if your name is Joseph Newgarden. That's the time that he's put out there and set. So it shouldn't take you the full 90 minutes. You should be able to knock it out in about 1.5. It's all it's going to take. Get out there on Forza Motorsport 7. You'll see it in the featured Rivals events right now.
There you go. So you got just over an hour to do that. Unfortunately, did it take you 5 hours this time around? Did you beat him?
Long, and he came out and beat it again, Leah. He's a brute. A brute.
That's just rude, isn't it? Really, we have to have words. Give him a chance. I mean, he's trying so hard. Well, there we go then. What do we have coming up next month?
Next month, we've got a slide for this, and we can check out a few of the events that are coming up next month. Pendulum Tuning's DTCC Duckies Touring Car Championship is coming to a close. You can see it there on the 7th of the month. The Delta Online Racing Abarth Cup. It's awesome. Little Abarths. They look ridiculous and they're fun to drive. They look like little bubble cars. The whole championship, the whole event is taking place from the 8th of the month, that's the media day, through to the 29th, which is the final race. So you can take in part of the whole series within the month of November. Very, very cool. Later on, we've got the GeForce Leagues NASCAR series. I haven't heard of GeForce Leagues before, but as someone you can get involved with, NASCAR has been something I've kind of been leaning into a little bit this month, as a few of the regulars on my stream might have noticed. So these definitely catching my eye alongside IndyCar at the end of the month there on the 30th. The last one I wanted to shout out is the BRZ versus S2K Shootout Series. That's by New Wave Racing. Just an awesome combination of cars and a really exciting way to go out racing as well. A nice one to pick up if you're in for some sort of side-by-side racing. You can imagine there's a little bit of contact there, but also very stylish looking cars, which I like.
Absolutely. It's what it's all about, isn't it, really?
It's about looking good. Yeah, you're right. I mean, at the end, that's about 50% of it. Yeah.
Go fast and look good while doing it.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's it. Well, thank you so much, Alie, for joining us for the esports update. We will see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Right, and up next, we have our community spotlight. Our guest today is DexHowl. He's a Forza content creator and mental health awareness advocate who's building a positive support network through gaming. Here's a preview of him in action.
For anybody, again, that doesn't know mostly who I am, along with playing games, I'm also an advocate for mental health awareness through a company called Hope for the Day. If you type !Hope in the chat, you can find out more information about what Hope for the Day is. It's mainly regarding mental health awareness and also suicide prevention, guys. It's all about making sure that everyone understands that they have value and that their life is important to everyone. Their life is important to everyone. We have a fundraiser at the top of the screen that is going right now for Hope for the Day and all their proactive outreach efforts, and just trying to make sure that people know that it's okay not to be okay, that it is okay for them to feel down every once in a while, but they have to keep moving, have to keep pushing forward, have to keep going day by day. And that's what this community is all about. Halheim is all about making sure that we are there for one another, that we are there to lift each other up every single day. When we have a problem, we can come to somebody and say, can you help me? Can I just talk to you about what's going on? If you guys ever feel like that, come to me, come to one of my mods, come to anybody that is part of this community, and I promise you they will sit and listen to you, and they will let you know that they care and that they are willing to help out in any way possible for them, as long as it is actually possible. Obviously, there are so many things that we as non-professionals aren't able to do, but there are a lot of things that just listening helps so much.
A big warm welcome to DexHowl. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that was that moment we just watched there in that clip. That was like such a powerful moment. Like what the things you were talking about and the music combined, everything all together. That message was, hopefully that helps touch people and, help people on its own. And it's a message that's become a staple in like every stream that you do, hasn't it? But why is that message so important to you?
The message, it's okay not to be okay, is so important to me because I really just genuinely don't want anyone to have to go through the things that I do every single day. It's a struggle to have to go through having like some sort of mental health issue, like suicidal thoughts, bipolar, whatever it may be. And for me, gaming is an escape from the everyday stresses of life and things that build up that pressure inside that really kind of make it so that it's hard for you to function. And building this community and streaming for me has been something great. It's a lot of fun to play the game, but at the same time, I have a community of people that I get to talk to about a serious topic, and I can like literally go to them and say like, hey, are you okay? What did you do today? Are you taking care of yourself? And I'm
Yeah.
able to really kind of push that message at the same time.
You know, like a really direct connection. And
Exactly.
in that clip, you also mentioned hope for the day. What is that?
Oh, Hope for the Day is the organization that I'm partnered with. Mainly, Hope for the Day is all about being proactive, going to people instead of having them come to you to talk about their mental health and educating them and being outspoken about what's going on. Hope for the Day believes that the mind is like a bottle of soda. When you shake up a bottle of soda, or when life shakes us up, we have to relieve the pressure in some way. We have to talk about it in order to relieve that pressure. And if we don't, that pressure builds up and it becomes difficult for us to just get out of bed in the morning. It becomes difficult for us to just take a shower, to even eat sometimes. And it's a struggle that every single day in America, 130 people lose the battle to that struggle every single day on average. And when you look at it annually, across the globe, we have nearly 800,000 people that lose that very same battle, and it's tragic. But Hope for the Day is all about making sure that people understand what is available to them, what resources are out there, like the crisis text line, like the American Society for Suicide Prevention, and just like the available things that the world doesn't tell us about. Society has these stigmas, like for example, we were talking about this earlier. Boys don't cry. That is something that has been taught to us from a very young age, and it's not true. Men do cry, and they need to in order to be able to process that information for themselves internally. When you bottle things up, it's never a good thing. It turns into a lot of bad habits as an adult. And it's that's what Hope for the Day is all about. It's all about making sure that people know that they can talk to someone about what's going on.
Amazing. And you've been working with Hope for the Day for quite a while. But like, how did you get connected with them originally?
Well, Hope for the Day started for me back in 2015. I follow a lot of different bands, and just like generally music was something that was a outlet for me when I first started having issues myself when I was a kid. And in 2015 is when I started to find Hope for the Day. They were going out on stage with these bands during their live shows. They would take a break and they'd come back, and they'd have the CEO himself would come out and on stage and talk to people, talk to the kids about what was going on, and that they have someone that they can talk to, that he personally would advocate for them and legitimately just be very inspirational. And Hope for the Day on their Instagram page was posting these quotes every single day, and some of them were even song lyrics, and I would go through, and it was really exciting to see this every single day. There was a new quote, a new lyric, or a new something that was there, and I would keep that in the back of my mind throughout my entire day, and it'd be something that kept me going. It'd be something that was just uplifting, and I had to remember that or remind myself of that, like so that you don't break down.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that little push, and sometimes that's what it takes, and that's yeah, commendable. But you are an agent of impact now is the title. But what does it mean to be an agent of impact, and like how does that impact the work that you do as a streamer and content creator?
Oh, an agent of impact is someone that is an advocate, an activist, and a volunteer. You're volunteering your time and your voice to start the conversation. You are a bridge to those resources, like the crisis text line, like the Samaritans in the UK. There's a bunch of different organizations out there that are willing to help people, and that you can talk to, and you can say that, "Oh, I'm not feeling okay. Can you help me? Can I talk to you about what's going on?" And those people are available. And the agents of impact are just people that are, like I said, acting as a bridge to
Mm.
those connections. They're making sure that people understand that these things are available to them. And in my content, I think that being genuine is the largest part of that in my content. In that, as a streamer, I have these active conversations with people about what they're going through, and it's just very raw and emotional. And I've cried on stream so many times, and it's not always pretty, but these kind of conversations have to happen in order for us to get better.
Absolutely. I like the way that you put that, a bridge to services that can, truly help and help connect people. And that's oh, so needed. But to connect this to Forza, recently you did a Hope for the Day car show. What was that all about?
Absolutely. The car show was a great thing. We had Hope for the Day. I reached out to them and they gave us the opportunity to do a giveaway. Leading up to that, I was actually celebrating my 1 year anniversary as an affiliate. And so on the same day, I decided to do this car show leading up to the giveaway and the surprise that no one knew what was going on. So we gave away a hoodie and some other stuff from Hope for the Day, along with like these. I actually have wristbands that Hope for the Day
Oh,
gave us. They gave us 200 of them, along with some
wow.
stickers for my channel. They're all my emotes and things like that. And generally, um, just leading up to the car show, we had our moderators. We had them as judges. One of my moderators, his name's Geeter Dunn. He and his wife, they have a very personal connection to uh, Hope for the Day and how, like, what the message is. And I've talked to them countless times about it, and it's very direct and it hits home for them. So I knew that they would be great judges for this cause and for what was going on, and how they would actually judge the cars that were coming in and what Hope for the Day means to them. And seeing like we had maybe 15 or so entrants that came in. We had people that were still coming in even after the car show had already started and
Oh.
the convoy was full. We had to get people out and back in, and it was great seeing the time and effort that everyone, the entire community, put into putting these designs together. Was great. It was amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think we have a picture of the winner as well of the show. There we go. There
Oh
it is.
yeah,
Tell us
this
more
one
about the
is
winner.
the winner was John BR99. That's his gamer tag. And John's livery was one that blew everyone away. The judges just were dumbfounded by the entire thing. I think that he honestly got in our scoring system, it was rating 1 to 5 based on accuracy, creativity, and tastefulness. And I'm pretty sure across the board, he got full marks all the way
Wow.
across. And when we talk about Hope for the Day, when I talk about it, I'm talking about usually the United States because that's where I am. But Hope for the Day is so much more than that. There's 25 countries, 17 languages, and just generally we're talking about making sure that everyone and across the entire globe knows that they have value and that their life is important and that they need to stay in this world. This world needs all of us in it.
And that's one of the benefits of live streaming. You connect with people all over the globe, and it's great that it's a global organization as well. But on top of this, you've also been known to host charity streams, and we've heard a little rumor about a 24-hour cosplay stream. Tell us more.
Okay, so during the 24-hour, I cosplayed as a character Naruto from a pretty well-known anime that is pretty. It's great. It's actually a lot of fun, and the 24-hour didn't start as a as you would think. Honestly, it wasn't as planned out as I expected it to be. I posed to my community within about a week or so of just starting the fundraiser that if we got to $500, I would do a 24-hour stream, and we ended up doing a 12-hour. I was trying to like do that final stretch. We were probably about maybe $400 in to what we had raised already, and I decided to do a 12-hour. I thought like maybe during that time frame we get a couple of donations and maybe we might get to 500 at the end of that 12-hour stream. And we ended up getting to 500 very early in the stream, maybe only about an hour or two in, and
Wow.
I was just really surprised, and I just didn't know what to do. So what I ended up doing is I ended up doing the 12-hour. I did my own little self check, and then I was like, okay, I can do this. And then we just kept going. That was literally it. The stream just kept going. We went into Forza. We played hide and seek. We did some time trials. We did races, and now we are at $1,700 raised for Hope for the Day and their proactive suicide prevention efforts. So we tripled our original goal, more than tripled our original goal. So it's fantastic to see the community come together and everybody be just so supportive of the cause.
Yeah, well, fantastic work. And I love actually what you said there about a self-check as well. Am I okay to continue? Can I do like another stint? Because it's draining and it can be very mentally and physically draining to stream. So I love that you know, had that as a little safeguard for yourself.
Yeah,
But
at the
we
end, it
do,
was insane. I was so
yeah,
tired.
absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine. We actually do have a clip of that exact stream though. So let's take a look at what happened there.
And don't forget to brake, guys. Don't forget to brake. First corner, brake. First corner, brake. Oh my God, I literally just said it. $125 to Hope for the Day, guys. Chrissy, thank you for being a champion of proactive suicide prevention.
Dave, you got to 1,000.
Bro, what am I supposed to do now?
48.
Guys, this community is amazing. I appreciate you all.
Amazing work. And shout outs to your community as well. Such a dedicated lot. That was very impressive. Yeah, you play a lot of Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport on your streams, but like when did that all start? When did you start playing Forza?
Yeah, no. So Forza was actually a game that, well, I started playing racing games as a kid, and it was just amazing, basically. But for Forza Motorsport 6 is where I started my journey with Forza, and it has just been insane for the most part. Like Forza Motorsport has been something that's been challenging. It's been one of those things where you are pushing yourself to be faster every single time, or you're pushing yourself to turn off one more assist to try to get that one extra second in that race that you needed. Or then you have Forza Horizon where you are able to more so explore and just kind of relax and say that, hey, okay, I'm just going to drive around and enjoy the scenery for a little bit. It's there's some amazing landscapes. I started Horizon because of one of my friends introduced me to it. When I told him about Motorsport, he's like, you know, they have another game. I'm like, what, really? And it was amazing to see that there was like that was with Horizon 2, and that's when that jumped off. And I've gone through and I've really bought every single one since then, and it's amazing to see the difference between the games, but also the similarities, and that the realism never goes away, but the challenge and what you can do within the games is so different.
Yeah, it's just applied differently in both games. That is a really fun experience trying both out. But, like, so you've been playing for a while, but when did you start streaming, and how did you get into that?
Okay, so streaming, I started in about 2018 approximately, and I started streaming actually just as a like because my friends wanted to see my gameplay. They asked, so I figured this was the way to do it, and I started streaming from my Xbox directly, and it was great to see the integration that the app had. But now that I get to stream from from OBS and all that, and I have all these overlays and music and things that come in, and I get to implement all this stuff. It's a lot more fun, and I found out that it was so much fun just because I was sharing my gameplay with my friends. Unfortunately, I had to stop streaming because I was working on my bachelor's degree. That was an obstacle for me, but I came back in 2019 and there was such an overwhelming amount of support. I started streaming with just one person in chat. The entire chat would be filled up with this one person's message. And then now I stream for maybe 20 or 25 people at a time sometimes. And they're very active. They're all very engaged in the chat. There's just so much conversation and open discussion about everything, from generally what did you have for dinner today. That's something that it's really simple, but it's just a open discussion for everybody to be a part of that.
Absolutely. That's amazing. No, you've done so well in just 2 years, really. It's like no time at all. And we saw from the clip earlier that you've got a little name for your community. Tell us more.
Yeah, actually. So my community is called Halheim. In Icelandic, German, and Norse cultures, Heim is a word that means home. For me, a home is a place of belonging, and howl just comes from my love for wolves, honestly. But generally, the way that I see my community and being a member of that community is you are a lone wolf, and you are becoming a part of our pack or a part of our family. And as a family, we support each other, encourage each other, and we just try to be as positive as possible in every aspect. In that we will go through, we race with each other and everything. Even though it's competitive, we don't talk down to each other about things like just because you lost the race or something like that. And it's that's really important. That's something that is missed a lot in competitive games, I think, more so than anything else. And as a family, we encourage each other and we share tunes, we share liveries, we share all kinds of things. We share tips and tricks on breaking and just something that simple in the game. And it's great to see how many people really push each other to be better, push each other to be faster in every single aspect of Forza.
Absolutely. And so, like, let's say Forza fans start tuning into a DexHowl stream. What should they expect to see?
Oh, well, absolutely. In every single one of my streams, you're going to see me hit a tree at least 12 times every single time. And generally speaking, there is actually a counter in my stream as well for when I run into things. There's a counter for snowplows. There's a counter for bridges.
Amazing.
There's a counter for trees. There's a counter for literally anything you can run into that's a hard object. There's so many things that happen, and a lot of times there are channel points actually in my stream that are set up to make me crash. And like generally if you redeem that, there's one for me to drift now. It doesn't matter what I'm doing in the middle of a race. I'm in first place, doesn't matter what it is, I have to drift at that exact moment, and it's going to mess me up. I'm going to crash into something and it's going to be horrible, but everybody gets a laugh out of it, and it's fun. And then we also do just generally we have a place also for channel points where the community can come in and say, hey, I want to do this type of race, can we do that? Like, and yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. When you redeem it with channel points, this is what we're going to do next. After our race finishes, you come in, we do this, and that's it. And a lot of times, unfortunately, the community likes to watch me suffer in that I have to drive a PLP 50, the smallest car in the game, and then they love to stick me in it with the most horsepower possible, in that it's just uncontrollable. It's great. It's hilarious. Everyone has a laugh. I don't mind it. It's totally fine. I'm used to it at this point. But it's great to see that everyone's interactive with the chat, and that's probably what you'll see mainly when you tune into my streams.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you have a really positive, like respectful and engaged community. So if you guys viewing at home right now want to be a part of something that that sounds kind of fun to you guys, then please do check out DexHowl. Dex, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And you guys, if you want someone in the community, if you know of anybody that you'd like to see featured in a community spotlight here on a future Forza Monthly, you can nominate them yourself at aka.ms/Forza Spotlight. and let us know what makes them so amazing. And that about wraps up the end of the November edition of Forza Monthly. But you can find more Forza streaming action right here every day of the week. For example, we've got Johnny Warner hosting Thumbs Up Thursday later today. And then we'll be cruising into the weekend with a double dose of Alie Tacq, a double attack, something like that. And if you haven't already, you should be marking your calendars for the Xbox Series X launch day live stream. You can follow the festivities live on the Xbox, YouTube, the Twitch, and the Facebook gaming channels starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, the November the 10th. We'll also be hosting the show right here on the Forza channel if you want to come here and hang out in this chat. And finally, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that the first global Alfa Romeo series in Forza Street is going on right now. You can use all your car collection to race in special events, earn your Alfa Romeo chips, and win the 5 new Alfa Romeo cars. The event is live until November 29th, so get going. Thank you so much to all of our guests and for you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.